Chapter 26, World War II, Section 1, The War Begins. Several European nations moved towards totalitarianism, which is a political system in which government controls every aspect of citizens' lives. Benito Mussolini gained complete control of Italy in 1922. He ruled based on fascism, a political system in which the state, meaning the government, is seen as more important than individuals, and began working on expanding its territory. For example, he invaded the African country of Ethiopia. Adolf Hitler took advantage of public anger over the Treaty of Versailles to gain power. He was a member of the National Socialist Party, otherwise known as the Nazis. Hitler became a chancellor, meaning the leader of Germany, in 1938, and after becoming chancellor, he seized all power in government. Chancellor is an elected office, but then he seized all power and was never elected again because he took control, a dictator, if you will. He blamed others for Germany's problems, including the Jews and the communists. Joseph Stalin became a dictator of the Soviet Union in 1928. He was a communist ruler who terrorized those he saw as political enemies, killing or imprisoning millions of citizens. It is reported that, some reports say that he killed over 5 million of his own people. A group of military leaders slowly gained control of the government in Japan. By the 1930s, military leaders had more influence than the Emperor Hirohito. You've seen the picture. Japan wanted to build a larger Japanese empire in East Asia and started by invading China, killing hundreds of thousands of Chinese. Hitler dreamed of avenging Germany's defeat in World War I, so he violated the Treaty of Versailles by rebuilding his military and invading the neighboring Rhineland in 1936. Germany made an alliance with Italy and later Japan, and they called themselves the Axis powers. Hitler demanded that Czechoslovakia, which is this country right here, give up their Sudetenland, which is the dark purple area right here, because it was a German-speaking region within their borders. The Czechs turned to Britain and France for help, but neither was willing to give that help because they did not want to go to war with Germany. The British and the French took a policy called Appeasement, which means that they avoid conflict by giving in to an aggressive nation's demands. Germany promised not to take any more land, but people like British Prime Minister Winston Churchill did not believe him. So that's the appeasement part. In August 1939, Hitler and Stalin, these two guys right here, signed the non-aggression pact, promising not to attack each other and divide Poland between them. I want to attack you. I want to attack you. Hey, buddy. September 1st, 1939, German forces invade Poland. September 3rd, 1939, Britain and France, then known as the Allied powers, declared war on Germany, and World War II began. Hitler used a blitzkrieg, or lightning war, strategy of quick and hard attacks in Poland, and the Allied powers were not prepared for this. In October of 1939, Germany and the Soviet forces had controlled Poland. So you kind of see from this map, Germany is over here, Soviet Union is over here. So the Germans attacked quickly and hard, and the Soviets did the same on their side, dividing Poland. So this would be the German side, this would be the Soviet side. Spring of 1940, Germany quickly conquered Denmark, Norway, Belgium, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands. By June 22nd, 1940, France surrendered to Germany, but there was still a French resistance going on in the country. July 1940, the Luftwaffe, or the German Air Force, began attacking British planes and airfields. August of 1940, the Luftwaffe began bombing British cities like London, and this became known as the Battle of Britain. The British Royal Air Force destroyed 2,300 Luftwaffe aircraft using a new invention called radar for the first time, and Hitler canceled his invasion of Britain. So you can see in this map here, all the lands, all this gray area, is lands that Germany had conquered. Britain remained safe, but this is some of the aftermath of the Battle of Britain. U.S. refused to enter the war even though they opposed Hitler's actions. Roosevelt was reelected in 1940, then proposed the Lend-Lease Act, which allowed the president to aid any nations believed to be vital to U.S. defense. Since it applies to many allied countries as well as the Soviet Union after Hitler went back on its word and invaded it in June of 1941. U.S. protested Japanese invasion of French Indochina in July of 1941 by cutting off oil supplies. On December 7, 1941, Japanese planes attacked a U.S. naval base called Pearl Harbor in Hawaii, sank or damaged all of the U.S. battleships, killed more than 2,400 Americans, and destroyed 200 airplanes. On December 8, 1941, the United States declared war on Japan. Then Germany declared war on the United States. That is the end of Section 1.